Any time of day, music.
Come on, music. All Things Black with Garland and Calvin present Fanboys. Fanboys is a weekly breakdown of the sports world from a fan's perspective. Now, here are your hosts, Garland and Calvin.
All Things Black presents Fanboys. I'm Calvin. The sound effects guy over there from Police Academy is Garland. It ain't Michael Winslow. It is Garland.
I'm a broke sound effects. Like I got one good battery.
We are back for another week, another Saturday morning to get your sports started off correctly. Well, I say Saturday morning. You know, I get lazy, so you might not get this till Sunday morning or Saturday afternoon. I do my best, man.
Don't tell them when we record, and we just y'all gonna get it when we get it.
I'm fucking around and be like, this is November 11th, and they be hearing it in December. Hey, man, what's up, Garland? How you doing?
What's going on, everybody? The pre-show was pretty good. We talking about how we dumbed out in the past on some stuff and fumbled the bag. They call it fumbling the bag now, but back in the day we said you dumbed out. And so how we dumbed out on some stuff, had opportunities and be like, dang, that was, oh man, I dumbed out on that. Yeah, a lot of fellas know what we mean. We talk about dumbing out. Yeah.
Right, you weren't even supposed to bring it up.
I didn't say no names. I just said we dumbed out.
You did say no names.
Made it collective. We all done dumbed out. Everybody know what's up. We all done dumbed out.
Hey, as you all know, we are live on YouTube right now. So if you're watching us, good morning. If not, you can hear us on all the podcast platforms. And if you do have Spotify, you'll actually be able to see us. You get to see the handsome faces, gentlemen. You know what I mean? Yeah, you get to see us and put the voices to it and all. So, you know, hey, man, I told you, I was telling Garland we went to a country bar last night. Oh, by the way, good morning, Katina. We went to a country bar last night, and
put names out. You real wrong.
Hey man, we had a good time. We you know what? Because I'm gonna get better with this. We gotta start getting better with this. I'm not gonna give any names because we're not getting any sponsorships. But we did go to a country bar downtown. It was an artist presentation. I guess the artist was performing. I don't know what you call it, but we were record rep of the artist, and they invited my job to come. So went down there last night and had a really good time. And I say that to say, hey man, don't move off any genres of music. Like, you'd be surprised. This country bar was rocking, and there were black people in there too. It was rocking, and not country looking black people, just blackity black people. It was a good time.
My horse, roll down road, I'm gonna ride. And that's the only country song we know.
No, man, you know Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton. Don't sleep on that.
Calvin going into his white.
You don't know Tennessee Whiskey. If you hear it, you'll know. You'll know. Chris Stapleton has actually been on a couple of R&B shows because his voice, heavy set guy with a big beard. But you know Tennessee Whiskey. That's probably the most popular country song with the past few years.
As a Baltimorean, I only know one country song. Thank God I'm a country boy. That's because they played it at the Oriole game.
That's shout out to the late. I thought it was John Denver. Bob Denver is Gilligan. I said Bob Denver. Yeah, Bob Denver is Gilligan.
Oh God, getting the names wrong.
Hey man, what we got going on today,
bro? We gonna talk a little bit about this. They finally went ahead and put something on your boy Harbaugh. So we're gonna talk about that. Jim Harbaugh, not John. We're going to talk a little NFL. We're going to talk some Belichick. Lil'Man is back. I had talked about Lil'Man all season, so we can talk a little Lil'Man. Of course, we're going to do our Ravens recap and give our top 5 teams and our Pigskin Pick'ems. Somebody finally had a good week, and somebody finally had a bad week. And so, it happens that A squirrel can find a nut. That's what squirrels do. And
In
so
the words of Big underscore Gat, the cream will rise to the top.
Sometimes you get a little arrogant with your picks and stuff, and
You
sometimes you
hating?
you feel yourself a little bit too much, as the old folks say, you were smelling yourself. So
Why you hating?
I was smelling myself a little bit for the last couple of weeks, and that smell has finally hit my nose.
And
And
you weren't even in the lead by that much. You were in the lead by like one.
yeah, but you don't make a difference. You win by 1, you win by 20, you win.
This is
And
true.
so
This is true.
that's what it is. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Harbaugh, he's been banned from the sidelines. The Big Ten disciplines Michigan for the in-person scouting and ongoing sign stealing investigation, and will prohibit Coach Jim Harbaugh from being on the sideline until the conclusion of the regular season. And this has been confirmed by ESPN. Harbaugh will be allowed to coach during the week, according to sources. But the 9-0 Wolverines are ranked third in the college football playoff and have 3 regular season games left. They play Michigan this afternoon. They play Maryland after that. That's a win. You might as well go ahead and put a W down for that. And then they have
Oh,
their
leave my
final.
guy Loxley out of this. You
Oh,
know what I mean? Leave my guy
Locks,
Loxley out of this.
locks better pull off a miracle. And then they had their final home game against Ohio State. And so my question is, what happened to due process? And if Michigan wins out the regular season and the BCF playoffs, uh, will this be a bigger embarrassment to the Big Ten or the NCAA? And so, first of all, this really hasn't had due process. I mean, to me, this is just opening up to a lawsuit. I feel that way, and I think that it's just kind of they felt that pressure from other schools to do something, and to let him coach during the week, but not be on the sidelines of the games. So you could come, but you can't come in. What is this? What is this?
How you gonna hate from outside the club?
Right.
But no, so well, to get to the first point where you were talking about lawsuit, I think what it is Michigan basically admitted it. Like they kind of blamed it. Well, everyone does it. So I think the due process kind of went out the door when they're kind of saying, yeah, we did it, and then the guy quit and all. So maybe there's a lawsuit coming, but I think they're pretty much admitting that they did it. But I'm with you. Like, what's so unlike basketball, where the head coach has to make substitutions, draw plays. He's the guy that's doing all that. Unlike baseball, where the manager has to again substitutions and figure out the best pitching matchups and all. Football, you have an offensive coordinator, you have a defensive coordinator. I think for Michigan, the running backs coach Mike Hart is going to take over the coaching duties during the game. But if he's able to coach during the week, now you're only preparing for the one game. If he's able to coach during the week, the game plan is kind of there. So I'm kind of with you. Like, what is that going to do? I think it's more, like you said, pressure from the Big Ten coaches that were like, you got to do something. I guess we'll see today, because they are playing Penn State today, and they're playing at Penn State, which is Penn State, I believe, is ranked number 9 after their just total thrashing of Loxley and the Terps. But I guess we'll see today if it does have any impact. You would think that the kids would just rally around. Like, this would be more motivation for them to win the game. So, and then it's only 3 games. I mean, I don't know. It seems odd. But I'm also on the end where I didn't think it was that big of a deal. So
To me, it's like, well, one, if Michigan's excuse was, well, everybody does it, how I used to do that, your parent, like, why'd you do it? Well, everybody's doing it. That doesn't mean you're supposed to do it. And so if that's their defense, then okay, I understand. But really, this investigation let me step back. It just really shows that the NCAA and the Big Ten really don't have any power over what's going to happen with this. That the Big Ten's decision is it's like being lukewarm. It's like, okay, we'll do something, but we're not going to go all the way. If you're going to go ahead and discipline all the way. Ban him from coaching anything. Ban him not only from the games, but from functioning in that role during the week. Go all the way. And so this halfway, okay, well, that maybe that says to me that they don't have enough evidence, or it's like, well, yeah, maybe Michigan has a valid point. Everybody's done it. Maybe some other people have been caught, and we just don't know about it. I think that I had predicted last week. I didn't think anything was going to happen before the season's over, and I still don't think the NCAA is going to rule before the BCF playoffs. And I think it's just going to be a big embarrassment if Michigan runs the table and they win the championship. It's going to be kind of like when Brady won the Super Bowl that year, where they were talking about the Flake that was this whole embarrassment of okay, now he's going to get the Super Bowl trophy. He's got the Super Bowl MVP trophy, but you suspended him because of this fake Deflategate. And I just think at the end, if Michigan runs the table, it's just going to look dumb. It's going to look dumb.
Yeah,
And then people going to say, well, y'all should have just suspended him the whole, this is fake. And then you're going to have the whole thing with Houston. What happened with Houston with banging on the trash cans, and what happened with Belichick when they were caught stealing signs, all those things. People are going to try to invalidate. Or like when the Lakers won in the bubble, everybody's going to try to invalidate.
Whoa. First of all, the bubble is the hardest championship to win.
No, it wasn't.
You agree? You just don't
we
want
did not. We did not agree with that.
To the NCAA and to the Big Ten,
just like Mobb Deep say, ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Either he did it and you gonna get him,
or he didn't,
or you not gonna get him. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Come on, so, yeah, it's just dumb. Yeah, hey, you can't coach in the games, but you can still coach during the week. It doesn't make any sense. So we might see him like that time Bobby Valentine, who was a former major league coach, got ejected from a game, and then he was in the dugout with a fake mustache on, his sunglasses. We might see that from Harbaugh. Trust me, they're gonna have cameras on the sideline. They're gonna have a bolo on John Harbaugh. People gonna be at the gate where the pitchers is looking through, because they're gonna have to sneak him in through a box, and
he gonna have his AirPods in, and he gonna be sitting in the stands somewhere calling down the plays. So.
Right. For real. So we see what happens. But yeah, so a ruling, because people were asking for blood, but they didn't get blood. They just basically nicked them. They just scratched them.
Speaking of that, you know what? Jim might. Now that I think of it, he right up the street. He right up the street today. He's supposed to be up the street today. He might be in Baltimore right now with his brother. They might be giving each other
down there in Fells Point somewhere today.
Right.
You're a jerk.
You know what I haven't seen at the games in a long time? Dad. Remember Dad used to pop up? They was always interviewing Dad. I wonder if Dad's health is okay, because I ain't seen Dad on any interviews in a long time.
Well, and John has been coach for what, 14, 15 years now. So yeah, it might be something with the health. So
might be something never know. Yeah. So I wish Jack Harbaugh the best, whatever's going on. All right, so let's transition to the NFL. Is Belichick coaching for his job? Rumor has it that if the Patriots lose Sunday to the Colts in Germany, that Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, is going to fire Bill Belichick. The Patriots are currently 2-7, which is the worst in the AFC. And since Tom Brady's departure, the Patriots' overall record is 81-94. And they've only made the playoffs once, and that was 2022 without Brady. And so, is Belichick still the greatest coach of this generation, or is it Brady that deserves the credit for the Patriots' past success?
Now, far be it from me to defend anything Boston, because I'm not a Red Sox fan, I'm not a Bruins fan, I'm not a Patriots fan. However, let's start with the the recency bias. Like, Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of our. It's really not even close. So it would be so unceremonious if you fire him for a game that's in another country anyway. But if you fire him in the middle of the season, he deserves to have a conversation with you at the end of the season, and y'all decide whether it's going to go down as a firing or it's going to go down as a retirement or him moving on. He deserves that. Like, Kraft owes him that. Like, are you kidding me? That would be sometimes I think these owners get a little too big for their britches. Like, let's be honest about it. You drafted Mac Jones, or as my guy Garland says, Maga Jones, and
Say his name right.
You thought he was going to be the next Tom Brady. That's lightning in the bottle, sir. Everybody's not going to get a Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're in a division that has the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Jets, who were supposed to be good this year. But you're looking at two teams in the Dolphins and Bills that have just surged in the past few years. The Bills being longer. Like, come on. You got to give Belichick a break here and let him walk away. Now, I'm not saying you keep him for next season, because clearly it is a numbers-oriented game. So if he's not winning, he's going to have to go. But he deserves to at least finish the season out.
I agree. I mean, I think it would be crazy to fire the greatest coach of this generation in the middle of the season. He's earned enough of that, 6 Super Bowl titles. He's earned enough to go out on his own terms. I think this, for me, and I was having a conversation with someone about this, about coaches also being the GMs. You know, one of the reasons why oh my God, coach of the Giants, coach of the Cowboys, Belichick came out of history.
Bill Parcells.
Thank you. And one of the reasons why Bill Parcells left the Patriots, because he said he wanted to pick the groceries as well as coach them. And they had a system. They had a GM. They had, really a great system. And I think that's the system that built up the Patriots. They drafted great. They were able to identify players to really fit within the systems that they wanted to run. And Belichick did a great job of coaching them up. But as he's gotten more power as the GM as well, he hasn't done a good job of picking the groceries. And I think it's reflective. Maga Jones, you can't really name that's his name, Calvin, Maga Jones. And you can't really name a impactful receiver that they've drafted. I mean, I guess the last one was Julian Edelman, really, maybe. They have not drafted great receivers. They have not drafted great running backs. They went out and signed great defensive players like Judon and a couple others. But when is the last time they've drafted and developed a really good player? They have not done that in several seasons. And it's starting to catch up with them. They don't have any impact players on that team like they had in their golden years, especially with Brady. And because you had the greatest quarterback of this generation playing there, he really he turned chicken shit into chicken salad in a lot of aspects. He played with Moss, Welker, and Edelman, and he had the greatest tight end in Gronk. I mean, I think maybe Gronk is probably the last player that they've drafted that's been an impact player. I can't really think of anybody outside of Gronk. And so, I just think that, they haven't done well in the draft. Yeah, they've spent some money in free agency, but those free agent picks haven't been impactful. As a matter of fact, I was looking at an article in Deadspin just about this. They were talking about this, and they were talking about the players that the Patriots passed over to draft other players. Like he could have had DK Metcalf. He could have had other players in the draft, but they took and killed Harry. And so they could have had, I'm looking at the article now, A.J. Brown, Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel, and even Deontay Johnson. But instead of picking those, he picked N'Keal Harry. And so, it's really, they have not done well in the draft. They have not done well getting impactful players, and it's showing.
Yeah, and the NFL is cyclical anyway, and it's finally catching up to the Patriots.
Right.
For over 20 years, the Patriots had that Tom Brady effect that just masked everything. And
Yeah.
you can, I'll even bring that back to the Ravens, because they always talk about the Ravens could have had this receiver, that receiver. During the years where the beginning of the seasons where Lamar was healthy, he masked all of that. The team was still top two in contention, but as soon as he went down, that's when it started being exposed, that
Right.
we don't have the receivers that can make the plays, that can impact the game. But Tom Brady didn't have that, but he didn't need it. Now, of course, Randy Moss, and that was the year they didn't win the Super Bowl, but
Right,
they
but they
went
went
undefeated up until the Super Bowl. You look at guys they've had that. Think about some of the things that Belichick has done. Remember when he got rid of Ty Law,
Right.
Lawyer Malloy, and these were things where we were all like,
Players in their prime.
yeah, what is he doing? He can't be doing this. And everybody thought he was crazy, but he knew exactly what he was doing. So it's just the NFL. I don't know if the teams are catching up to the Patriots now, or if the Patriots are falling back in the pack. But this is just the normal cycle of NFL teams, and they've been so good for so long that no one's feeling sorry for them.
Right.
But you still can't fire this man in the middle of the season, and you definitely can't fire him for a game in Germany. Like, good gracious, what you gonna leave him out there?
Right.
Like,
They're gonna leave him there eating some Schnitzenfrudel or something, drinking a pint.
You see his ring camera video where he out walking with his shirt off.
No.
I don't even know if it's him, but they said it was him, and I just saw it quick. I was just like, "What you doing, Bill?"
Yeah, the Patriot way has really died in some aspects, so it's dying a rapid death.
It's time to move on. We
So.
had that era. Now it's time to move on.
Right. All right. Hey man, Lil'Man's back. One of my favorite players. It's official. Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray will start on Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons, marking his return from a ACL injury that sidelined him for the past 11 months. And so, Calvin, who's dumber? Lil'Man for coming back to play for a team that's tanking, or the Cardinals for messing up their chances to draft Caleb Williams?
So wait, but are they really tanking? Because if they were tanking, Joshua Dobbs did not know that when Joshua Dobbs was out there playing his ass off. Right. He was auditioning for the Vikings, and the Vikings picked him up, and he went out there and did work his first game, his first 5 days with the Vikings.
He was out there balling, but the rest of the team wasn't. He was out there balling, but the rest of the team was like, what are we doing?
I don't know if him coming back is going to make a difference in their records or anything. He still got to adjust to it. Only thing he has is Marlon Brown. So we don't know what it's going to do, but I don't see him as being dumb at all, and I don't see them as being dumb. They paid him a lot of money. You got to put him on the field, and for his sake, he could be auditioning for his next team. You just never know. So he needs to come back, get his feet wet again. You never know what's going to happen in the offseason. He may wind up with the Steelers, because the Steelers, I don't care what they say about Kenny Pickett. Can you imagine the Steelers and Mike Tomlin? Oh my God, I would hate him with Mike Tomlin. I would hate him. So, but no, I don't think either one of them stupid. You paying him, you can't let him sit on the bench if he's healthy, and he's a player that needs to play. Like, he needs to get out there and run around, audition for his next team if they're not planning on keeping him. Or they may not be auditioning for a quarterback. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. at Ohio State. They may be looking at him. You get the last pick and you pick up a receiver like that.
We'll see. And you said Marquise, Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care about him.
So talk bad about them.
I did say Marlon. I got 2 homeboys named. I got 2 home Brown. One lives in New York and one lives in Baltimore.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah, to me, I would just keep on tanking. With Kyler Murray coming back is going to get you probably maybe 3 wins for the rest of the season, and that might really shift the equation of you getting the number 1 pick to get a very, very, very good quarterback, a guy that probably might do very well at the professional level. I know it's a crapshoot, but he's been killing the college. he's coming out of a Lincoln Riley system, just like Kyler Murray came out of Lincoln Riley system when he was at Oklahoma. And so, yeah, this guy, you know, probably may do well at the next level. And I was looking at a graphic on the Thursday night game right now. If they drafted today, I think the Cardinals would have number 1, and then the Bears would have the next 2 picks. They have the Carolina pick, number 1 pick. And so beating Carolina helped boost that up. And then they would have their own pick in that top 5. I mean, to me, I know the Bears are very happy to hear that Kyler Murray's coming back because it gives them the opportunity possibly to have the top 2 picks. And so that's good for them. But, if I was Kyler Murray, I guess this is your audition for your next team. And so he's going to get out there and he's going to ball. He's a hard guy to bring down. He was very avoidable. He had a great arm. It was just that the rest of that team was horrible. And, they just couldn't pull it out. They start off strong and then they ended up, really limping through the rest of the season. So I think he's going to win in some games. He's going to pull off some stuff. And, they're going to be in contention in a lot of these latter games that they're going up against. And so, yeah, this is a chance for him to audition for next season.
Are you certain that they getting rid of Kyler Murray? See, I don't necessarily think they're trying to get rid of Kyler Murray.
To me, they've done
but
it
that's
before.
what I don't think they're going to draft Caleb.
I think so because, all right, remember this. That year before they drafted Kyler Murray, they had drafted the quarterback Rosen out of UCLA. He was a top 10 pick, and he was the heir apparent. The next season, they lost all those games. They had the number 1 pick. What did they do? They went out and they drafted Kyler Murray, number 1, because you just can't go past the best player on the board. And before you know it, Josh Rosen he's somewhere. He's in the XFL.
But that's what I'm saying. Kyler Murray is actually good. Josh Rosen wasn't good. Like,
but they drafted him. Yeah, but they drafted him in the top 10. You just don't, you draft your top 10 one year, and then the next year comes up, and you go back and you take the number 1 pick as a quarterback. You had drafted your heir apparent, your franchise quarterback the year before. And for me, they've seen enough of Kyler Murray. They know who he is. They know how he prepares. They know what they can do with him. Maybe they might make that decision. It might be time to go ahead and move on. And we can play and build up a team on a rookie contract versus what we're paying Kyler, because Kyler is being paid at least in the top 5 of quarterbacks.
Now, that's the only reason I would think they would want to move on is because of the rookie contract. They can get a rookie on a rookie contract, but I don't know, man. Same thing with the Bears. Moving on from Justin Fields, I don't know. Like the games that Justin Fields has played recently, he's been playing well. I don't know, man. But of course, we'll see. I'm not the GM, and a whole lot plays into that. But
yeah, a lot of times I think it's about, you gotta realize that one coach in Chicago, he's fighting for his life. If they
he's
fighting for his life, for his job. He's had 2 years in here, and if they can't pull it off, I don't think he's going to get another. And then you have a new head coach in Arizona. Sometimes they want their people.
Well, that's true too.
I think for what we want to do,
because Kyler was what's his name's guy. Yeah, you're right about that.
Kingsbury guy.
Yeah,
and so
Cliff's guy.
Yeah. And so, hey, I want to have a chance, just like when new GMs come in and they want their own coach. Yeah, the other guy might have done well. Like that happened with the Raiders with Bisaccia. When they hired a new GM, they decided, despite the fact that you made the playoffs with this team, they hired a new GM, and the new GM brought in McDaniels because he wanted his guy. And so same thing happened in Detroit when they hired one of the GMs from the Patriots tree. What did he do? He fired the coach who had a winning record, and he brought in Patricia. And so, it's not too far-fetched that, maybe the head coach Gannon wants a player like Caleb Williams. He thinks Caleb Williams is a better fit for what they want to do offensively.
Okay.
So you can go.
I still don't see it, but we'll see. It's
stacked
only
when they
because
traded.
it's only because I think both quarterbacks are really good. I think both quarterbacks are franchise changing quarterbacks, and especially in the case of Arizona, the guy is good. Like, why are you going to start over again and try to develop another quarterback when you have one that, yeah, he might be making a lot of money right now, but in the grand scheme of things, by the time you have to pay this new rookie quarterback you're going to get, Kyler won't be making that much money because these contracts will keep going up.
True.
So
I think it's all scheme. I think it's all scheme. It's not necessarily, oh wow, this guy has been good. I think it's what we want to do, and does this person fit what we want to do? These guys think they're smart, Calvin. These
they
coaches, they think they're smart, and they're the smartest guy in the room. And this is the guy. If I get this person, I can win with this person. And
looking at you, Jim John. Thinking y'all the
yeah,
smartest people in the room. Looking at you, Jim and John.
Yeah. So, hey, McDaniels, that's why they drafted Tebow. The year before, they had won with Cutler, made the playoffs. He came in there, had beef with Cutler. He said he could turn anyone into a winning quarterback, and that's why they went out and drafted Tim Tebow. In 2 seasons, he was gone. So come on, man. He had a playoff winning quarterback on his team who was good in his prime. And he said, no, I don't want him. I want Tim Tebow.
If anyone still thinks that Josh McDaniels is a good coach,
come on, bro. They do it all the time. So that's why I'm saying, yeah, if they have the number 1 pick, they're going to take Caleb Williams.
Okay. I hear you.
You hear me? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. I just in my thought process, I'm just like, why? Why would you do that? Like, just you got him locked in. You got him locked in. He can play.
Smartest guys in the room.
Yeah,
they're the smartest guys in the room. And if they trade Kyler Murray, maybe they can get some assets from it. Maybe it gives them cap relief. I don't know, but I would not be surprised if it happened. All right, let's talk a little Ravens. They clipped the Sea Chickens' wings at home last week. The Ravens dominated the Seattle Seahawks 37-3. Gus Edwards scored 2 rushing TDs, and the offense unleashed a new weapon, Keaton Mitchell, who ran for 138 yards and 1 touchdown. OBJ added his first touchdown since the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago, as the Ravens routed a first-place team for the second time in 3 weeks. The 5-3 Seahawks managed only 6 first downs and were outgained 515 yards to 151. And so it was just total domination. Lamar, he didn't have a big passing game, but he didn't throw any interceptions. And they were just beating him so bad. Lamar was just chilling in the 4th quarter. He over there laughing, joking, talking about he want to play defense. They need to send him out there on some blitzes for a couple plays, looking in the stands and getting somebody made him a rug. And, they're going to get the rug at the game. He just having a good old, this reminds me of the Trust Ravens back in 2019 when they were just running through teams and they were off on the 4th quarter, just chilling, laughing, drinking Gatorade. And so what were your thoughts about the game? Calvin's at the game. He's a season ticket holder, y'all, on the club level. And so, in between you noshing on some, chips and some burgers and drinking your favorite IPA, what were your thoughts of the game?
First of all, I don't know why Garland acting like that, because Garland was at the game last week too. Pictures in the stands on the lower level. I think Garland was the one that made and gave the carpet to Lamar. Like, don't act like. I don't even know why Garland acting like he was not at the game. Usually Garland will text the group and be like, yeah, this is going on at the game. I was like, Garland ain't say nothing. Then later on, I see the pictures of him at the game with his game blouses, with his Dave Chappelle Prince. Don't act like that. I tell you, boy. Yeah, I tell you, boy. You can't trust these dudes out here. They say one thing and still do the same thing.
Yeah, sitting above the common man in his club level, you know, they take a drop of your blood to get in the club level where Calvin said.
Yeah, he's so
You have to
wrong.
scan your DNA, you know, an eye scan. Calvin open, Katina open their eyes real big when they go up there, y'all. They be like, and it comes up on the screen. Calvin Coates, Katina Coates, you may enter.
So wrong.
He has to
So
take off
wrong.
his glasses, y'all. Put his eye right next to the eye scanner, like
He's so wrong, yo.
like he ain't Get Smart.
You're so wrong. You're so
Since I'm doing
wrong.
sound effects, I started off doing sound effects. Let me keep
You're so wrong. Hey, man. But it was total domination. Unlike the game against Detroit, the Ravens didn't start off as strong. The offense, that is. I think they went 3 and out. They did get 1 first down. And then they got off the field. So, you know, you kind of looking like, all right, y'all gonna have to get it together. But all of a sudden, man, I mean, first of all, the defense is lights out. Let's just start with that. Because you're talking about guys like Geno Stone, who got his 6th interception. And I think Marcus Williams is coming back today, but I mean tomorrow. But geez, Geno Stone has been holding it down. You got Justin Matabike, who is still sacking the quarterback. You got Michael Pierce, who's just a plug in there. Of course, Roquan and Patrick Queen. There was a play that from where I was sitting, that line opened up and Patrick Queen stunned and came at Geno. And even we were in the stands like, get down, Geno. Like, don't even.
Like, oh my God.
I mean, like, yes. I mean, it was just, I mean, the Ravens are Kyle Hamilton still doing this thing. Brandon Stevens, like I've said, and he did get his interception in with Cardinals, but Brandon Stevens is always there. He just didn't have the ball skills. But Brandon Stevens, I mean, these guys are just playing lights out. Now you got Keaton Mitchell running all around. Granted, he's not going to perform like that, but we've been waiting for him because that speed factor he has. Clearly, they let Gus wear them down. They let Gus wear him down and wear him down. And Gus said, what's my guy's name who's on the cutting block now?
Justice Hill.
Yeah, Justice wear him down. And all of a sudden, they unleashed Keaton Mitchell on him. And it was like, you could see the Seahawks like, what the? Because he was just so fast. He was hitting them holes, man. But you know who else showed up? And I was so happy he finally showed up. Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely was out there looking like a number 1 tight end. I mean, then of course you got Mark Andrews, who is the number 1 tight end. Now, the only problem I had with my Ravens, and I understand after it happened, was why are you letting Tyler Huntley throw the ball, who almost threw a pick 6? Almost threw a pick 6. It wouldn't have mattered in the grand scheme of things, but he almost threw a pick 6. But I see you wanted Odell to get a touchdown because we were just like, what are you all doing? Run the ball, run the clock down. But that was my only issue with the game. But they played nearly a flawless game. We still have these. So Ronnie Stanley, we got to have a conversation about Ronnie Stanley.
That guy made a good 2 rushes after
he
that.
did. And you know when the play happened, and we're talking about where the fumble on Lamar, where Lamar dropped back and got the fumble. When the play happened, we watched the back run out into the flat, and I was just like, oh, wait a minute. I don't like when they got an empty backfield because I always think that we need a running back to chip for Lamar. I always think that. And of course it happened right then and there. But you know, you watch Ronnie Stanley sometimes and he is getting pushed back. Now tomorrow he's going to go up against arguably the NFL
tough matchup
defensive MVP. Myles Garrett. And you know, it concerns you a little. I'm sure the Ravens will scheme their offensive line for it. I don't think Morgan Moses is back, but I'm sure the Ravens will do something to scheme for it. But yeah, man, Ronnie Stanley, just a little concerned about him. Hopefully he will hold up. And there's somebody else, and the Justice Hill, Lamar, that fumble, just stop running the play. Just stop because they can't. It's something going on with Hill and Lamar where they're both, I guess, Lamar is pulling it back, and Justice is like, "Give me the ball," and they just, I don't know what's going on. They just got to stop running it with Justice Hill. So those are the only two things that concern me because we keep putting the ball on the field every game, at least once or twice. There's a fumble, especially in a game where Lamar's not throwing many interceptions. There weren't many penalties called against the Ravens, especially the offensive line. But other than that, total domination.
Total
Now we're getting
domination.
national attention, and I don't like it. I don't like the
Yeah,
national.
don't talk about us.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Don't talk about us. But I agree with you. I think Lamar in the ball security definitely concerns me a lot. I think they showed a graphic. He's fumbled 9 times, the most by any quarterback in the league, and he's lost 5 of them. I think the strip sack, the fumble in the past where the end got around Stanley, that was all in Stanley. I don't think that really was Lamar. But yes, that mesh handoff where he's reading the defensive end with Justice Hill, that has been a source of a lot of fumbling, and they definitely need to tighten up on that. I don't know what needs to be done, but they have to do better with that, the ball security. But a lot of people wanted to pick on, well, Lamar, he only had 100 plus yards passing, but I think he completed 21 of 26. But I love this because the Ravens took advantage of the Seahawks' weakness. The Seahawks defense was very weak against the run. I think they're in the bottom quarter in the league against the run. And so you can't come out there and throw it 40 plus times against a team that plays cover 3 and really concedes to run a lot. They're more concerned about stopping the pass. You take advantage of what the defense gives you, and they ran it down their throats. And you saw what happened. Keaton Mitchell has a big day. Justice Hill has some good runs. You bring Gus in to close it up, and it's an outstanding thing. I know as a fantasy owner, I was a little upset because I had to start Geno Smith because the quarterback for the Rams was a late game scratch. Matthew Stafford was a late game scratch, so I had to go ahead. I wasn't going to start Geno against the Ravens, and I had to, and I think Geno only got me 2 points, and so that's how much. Yeah, outside of the pass to DK, he didn't do anything, and so it was just a masterful job. They play well against top competition. And they have another game coming up again against a team with a winning record at home. And then following that, if they win this game Sunday, then you have the Thursday night. Really, that's going to come down for the division. And so you win these next 2 games, the division's yours. And so these games mean a lot. And we're going to see, as I say, if the cream rises to the top. And so I just thought it was just an overall great performance. I love going into the third quarter without any worries. It's like, okay, I ain't gotta watch the game like this, like I'm playing PlayStation. Like, okay, all right, we playing, and I lean up. No, I was sitting back, I was on my phone, I was flipping channels. Yeah, I want the game to be over. I got a little nervous when Lamar got up a little gimpy off of that sneak, and he was like testing out the leg, and I was like, oh God. And he came out and they played him 1 or 2 more series, and then they got his buns out of there. Thank you. And go ahead, let's Snoop eat. I'm glad that OBJ finally got a touchdown so we can stop talking about this
and stop forcing the ball to him. Now we can just relax.
Now we can he had that big fumble right before half, and it was good that they came back and they got the ball right back. I'm sure he was thanking God for Van Noy on that strip sack because it did look a little bad.
Kyle Van Noy. Can we talk about how he was on the streets for the first few weeks of the season? Like, Kyle Van Noy is just, the Ravens are leading the league in sacks. What was our biggest thing? 2 of our biggest things going into the season was sacks and receivers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. Yeah. Like,
how was they going to get to the quarterback? How was they going to? And
goodness.
I have to give Owe some credit. I'm seeing Owe back there consistently. I see him with moves. They showing spin moves. They showing him with the hand, fighting off the hands and everything. Didn't see that in the first couple years. them hiring Smith to come in there and coach the ends and the outside
Mm-hmm.
backers,
Mm-hmm.
giving them some of those moves. They have helped. And yeah. So you're seeing the result of that. Clowney's played very well. And so, yeah, just as a
Yeah,
unit,
man.
just as a unit,
Jadavian Clowney and staying healthy. Like,
staying healthy.
it's
Yeah,
just
because he was always out in Cleveland. He was
always.
always out in Seattle. He was always out in Houston.
Always. And
Always out.
another, you mentioned this, and Cordell Woodland talked about this before the game on the Seattle's defense, their zone defense. He said, a lot of times in that zone defense, those seams will be available for the tight end. And I think that's why Isaiah Likely was able to eat like he was, because they were running that double tight end set. They were even throwing the boy, what's his name? Cola. I think that's it.
Charlie Cola.
They were even throwing him in there. I don't think he caught any passes, but I saw him on the field a few times. But yeah, man, so whatever you want to say about Todd Monken, because we were happy that he came, but a lot of the national pundits were like, Todd really wasn't that good when he was in the NFL, and you're just giving him based on what he did in college. It's a different game. Todd is actually getting the most out of what he has, with the exception of one person. They really need to go after Bateman, because let me tell you something. If you're watching him now, it looks like he is fully healthy. He made a play. The ball was just thrown. Lamar just made an errant pass, but Bateman stretched out and snagged that ball down. Bateman in Arizona took the ball that was a clear interception. Rashad Bateman is getting this thing done. They tried to go deep with him a couple times, and it looked like either Lamar overthrew it or Bateman wasn't throwing his full speed out there. But he was open. He was wide open both times, and Lamar missed him. So they got to get the ball to Bateman. I think Rashad is.
It's got to be tough for teams, because really for the last 3 years, the main receiver has been Mark Andrews.
Now you don't know.
To Mark Andrews, now you don't really know. I mean, they are spreading the ball. It's Flowers, it's Aguilar, it's Bateman, it's OBJ. He's throwing to the backs. He's throwing to both tight ends. And so now, really,
how do you stop? Did Zay got one catch last week? So they probably keyed in on him, knowing that he gets most of the passes from Lamar. Lamar was like, "Oh no, not today, not today." I mean, see, listen, Seattle is a good defense. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Seattle is a very good defense. But they just, when you have so many options, when you have Lamar playing the way he's playing, and they not only are they keeping teams on their toes, they're keeping fans on their toes. Because we always knew what was coming next. So they're gonna run here, jet sweep here. Where's Mark Andrews here?
Right.
Nah.
They just put Duvernay in. You know what's coming.
We know what's coming.
Wherever Pat Ricard is going, that's where the ball is going. Not this year. Not this year. That's not happening this year.
I'm laughing because whenever we saw Duvernay on the field, we all knew here come that jet sweep.
Jet sweep coming. Duvernay in motion. Jet sweep.
We hate you, Greg Roman. We hate you.
So, man, let's go ahead. Let's talk about our top 5 teams and all, as we've been doing for this our second week going into it. And so I'll start off. Last week I'll start off number 5, Cincinnati Bengals. As much as I like to want to hate on the Bengals, the boys are good. The boys are real good. I watched Sunday night game, and Burrow is healthy. He's moving well. They got great receivers, although T. Higgins won't be playing this week. The running back is good and Mixon. The defense is starting to play good, like they've been playing good the last couple seasons. So, them starting off 1-3 or whatever, it doesn't make a difference, because once they get rolling, for the last 3 seasons, they've always started off with losing records, and then they end up in the mix, and they're going to end up in the mix this year. They have an offense you really have to pay attention to. Number 4, I still got the Jaguars there. I think they got a big test coming up Sunday. The Niners are in town. I think the shine is off of Brock Purdy. Hopefully, everybody has let go the teat and realize, he made it in the league and he was proficient in college. But when you ain't got the weapons for the system, you struggle. And this is a signature game for the Jaguars to really cement themselves as a real contender. And so they have them at home. We'll see what happens, but I still have them as number 4. Number 3, Kansas City Chiefs. They're not as powerful as they've been in the past offensively. They won a close game out in Germany last week, but the defense is playing lights out. They shut down a high-powered team. I keep on saying that the Dolphins are fugazi.
What I tell you,
when the
defense
Dolphins
travels.
travels, and it definitely had their passport last week. They were in Germany. They played very well defensively because really they scored their touchdowns in the first half. They didn't score any touchdowns in the second. It was defense that scored on a touchdown and pretty much shut the Dolphins down. Tyreek said he was going to put some points on them, was going to put some yardage on them. They held him in check. They held Tua in check. Great game. Number 2, Philly Eagles, the Eagles. The Eagles, they pulled it out last week against a very good Cowboys team. It really came down to a last play with Dak. They wasn't able to get it in. But they did what they needed to do to win. The offensive line is solid. The defense is solid. They made plays at the end. Eagles are still 8-1, the best record in the league. Their class of the league. And number 1, my Baltimore Ravens. I'm sorry, baby. After last week, they just putting it together, man. The defense is just, oh my God. And you know what? The defense plays so well, we just disrespecting the offense. We want to try to belittle the offense, but they've been scoring 30 points the last several games. They put up 30 plus the last several games, and we mad at the offense. Why they forcing it to OBJ? They putting up 30 plus. And we mad. So I don't know what we want, but yeah, Ravens, they're good on both sides of the ball. So number 1 for me, Ravens. Your top 5.
Hey man, let me find out you finally came around to the Ravens being number 1 because you had the Eagles last week. You had the Eagles.
Yeah. Ravens are putting it together.
Our top 5, just like last week, our top 5 is pretty much the same with the exception of one team that I have outside of it and you have inside of it. Let me start at number 5. I'm with you. I did not want to do it, but I can't deny what they've been doing. The Cincinnati Bengals are my number 5 team. They are really looking good. Now, their true test is going to be tomorrow with the hurt Jamar Chase out. Are they going to lean on Mixon? What are they going to do? They're playing a hot Houston team who's coming off of a bye. Right. So we'll see what happens.
Stroud big game last week.
Yeah, man. I said coming off of a big game. That's what. But yeah, number 4 for me, they jumped up one spot, are the Kansas City Chiefs because of that defense. They really went out and handled their business. Albeit Germany, albeit I think defense travels and offense doesn't. They didn't get a pick 6. They got a strip 6 off of Tyreek Hill, who said he was going to do his thing. What he did was put that ball on the carpet, and they ran that joint back for 6 points. Number 3 for me is my team that I still have in there, and you still don't have in there, are the Dallas Cowboys. They literally could have and should have won that game against the Eagles last week.
They played very well. I don't want to hear any Dak slander.
They should have and could have won that game. Number 2 for me is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. Goes without saying. I think you said everything about them. And number 1, again, for me, are my Baltimore Ravens. Now, let me give you
defense and the offense.
Let's talk about the punter who is starting. Last year, he was awful. But he's starting to pin these boys inside of the 10-yard line. Special teams isn't where it should be. We've seen that this year that they're not the special teams of the past. But they're not doing too bad. And the punter is really changing the field position in a lot of these games when they're pinned back on their own side. So that's my 5. I don't have the Jaguars in there still. I'm still not quite a believer, but I'm with you that they have a chance to prove something this week.
You might believe after Sunday. You might believe after Sunday. We'll see what they do.
They're right outside of the top 5 for me. The nosedive for me were the Dolphins because they just did not have a good showing against the Chiefs. Although their defense didn't play too bad. The Chiefs' points were really the strip 6, and then they got another touchdown in there. But I still had to give them a nosedive because it's starting to hold true. I didn't want to believe it, but the Dolphins can't seem to beat anybody with a good record. So
no, they can't. And you're playing a team that really the Chiefs are one-dimensional. They don't have any running game.
Right.
But you have to respect.
Well, they do. Isaiah Pacheco, you ain't got to respect it. You right about that.
Respect that right there. Yeah, he's not gonna run for 275 on you. So yeah. All right, so let's go to our Pigskin Pick'ems, and y'all. This guy,
I need you to go over it. I need y'all to listen to this. I need you to go over it.
He's up by 1 right now, y'all. He's up by 1 right
now. I mean, but you did get who'd you get last week? Somebody we texted about you got.
Yeah. I mean, I did call the Commanders game last week. It wasn't really that was my upset special, one really upset. But Calvin was right on the Steelers, the Chiefs, the Browns, the Saints, the Texans over the Bucks. That was a big call right there.
I tried to tell you.
The Colts, Raiders, Eagles, Bengals. Of course, we both had the Ravens. I was wrong on the Steelers game. I had Titans. We both had Falcons over the Vikings, which we washed on. Josh Dobbs comes in after 3 days not knowing any plays.
Exactly. And that was the main reason we both picked the Falcons, because you got a new quarterback.
You got a new quarterback, we both washed out on the Rams, Packers. I did call the Commanders over the Patriots, and I thought the Bucks would beat the Texans. And they actually were ahead. They just can't play any defense. And C.J. Stroud throws for 450 plus and 4 touchdowns. So,
we would have had the Rams, but like you said, Stafford, we didn't know Stafford was going to be a late scratch.
Late scratch.
Because I wouldn't have picked the Rams had I known that. I'd have went to the Packers.
I'd known that as well. And so,
who was the Monday night game?
You called the Chargers over the Jets. Hey, I mean, the Jets 4-3. We talking about the Chargers now. We're talking about the Chargers.
Brandon Staley is awful. He's awful.
So Calvin was correct on 11 of the picks last week, and I was only on the 9, and so he's ahead by 1, y'all. So
what'd you say about being on the top, looking down? Let me see. What you doing down there, Garland?
I'm running a benevolent society, y'all. I gotta let them be on the top for at least 1 time. Okay. Pause. And so, so I gotta let them be in the lead for a little bit. And so we both picked the Bears to start off week 10 to win, and they did barely. Because the Panthers are so bad, they didn't even score an offensive touchdown. Their touchdown came on a punt return. And so,
the Panthers are so bad that the fans are going to protest the team this tomorrow. They're going to protest at the stadium. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
The fans
is Nesta Aparicio down there or something leading a protest?
But they don't even play tomorrow. They just played Thursday. Like, who are you protesting to? They are literally calling for a protest. There's nobody going to be there but y'all. Oh gosh.
Okay.
What's going on, Carolina?
All right, so let's go ahead. Colts, they played the Patriots in Germany. I think this is the last Europe game of the season.
Yeah, Germany. I would pick I would pick Germany over both of these teams. I'll go with Indianapolis because they have the hotter team. But yeah, I mean, Patriots have probably the better defense, but they even got some injuries on their defense. Their cornerback, the number 1 cornerback, I know is out for the season.
Right.
Yeah, I'll still take Gardner Minshew and the boys.
I'm taking the Colts as well. Good pick. Texans, they go to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. This is going to be a good game. I mean, the Texans, they're okay. Defensively, they have not been as sharp as they were a little earlier in the season, but offensively, they're flowing. Bengals, they're hot, but no T. Higgins tomorrow. And Chase, he's questionable. And so, who you taking?
Yeah, man. This is a tough one. I want this to be my upset special. If it were in Houston, I would definitely make it my upset special. Oh, you know what? Like, I'm going with the Texans 2 weeks in a row. Give
All
me
right, sir.
the Jamie Sharpers
All right.
over
You
the
gonna put Jamie
Cincinnati.
Sharpie with Sharper with him? Oh
You
my
know,
God.
they got him on the expansion draft. I
Right.
did
Yeah, I
not
remember
like
that.
that.
I
I did
remember
not
that.
like that. I was mad when that happened. But give me the Jamie Sharpers.
And just like every other linebacker that played with Ray Lewis and went to another team, never heard from them again.
Ed Hartwell didn't do too bad. Ed Hartwell did okay in
He went to the
Minnesota.
Falcons. His wife was
I
more
thought he went
famous
to
than him.
no, he went to the Falcons after Minnesota.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking about somebody
No,
else.
you thinking about somebody else. No, he went to the Falcons
Okay.
when he left the Ravens. And Lisa Wu is more famous than Lisa Wu Hartwell. It was more famous than her husband in Atlanta. The Saints, they go to Minneapolis to play excuse me, I said Minneapolis to play the Vikings, the hometown of Prince. Who you taking?
Yeah, man. Another
Can
just
Joshua
horrible
Dobbs pull it
game.
off again? He got a whole week now.
Another horrible game to pick.
Yeah, this is a terrible game.
But the Vikings don't have a decent defense, and the Saints do. So give me New Orleans.
Yeah, that win last week was really total fluky. I don't know if they can do that 2 weeks in a row. Packers, they go to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. I know you don't like the Steelers. You always struggle with the Steelers.
I picked them last week though. I picked them last week. That home field advantage is big for them, and Mike Tomlin is big for them. I really want to pick the Packers. I really want to pick them.
You snooze, you lose. Come on now.
Give me the Packers upset.
All right, you got two upset specials on
give
here.
Give me the Brett Favres.
Right,
I will take it.
I like this because it's gonna let me get back in this. And so I'm gonna take the Steelers at home. Yeah, just keep on going, man. You're getting a little cocky. I like this. All right, the Titans, they go down to Tampa to play the Bucks.
Will Levis,
quarterback.
Will Levis is the real deal, man. He might be not for the NFL. He might be the real deal for the Titans. But give me the Bucks. I'll take the Bucks.
All right, I'm taking the Bucks as well at home. The Niners, like we
don't get conservative on me now because you lose it.
I'm going back to my correct picking strategy.
Don't get conservative because you lose. Scared money don't make no money.
Sorry. Anyway, the Niners, they go down to Duval to play the Jaguars. Like we've been talking about, this is one of these key games.
Debo is back.
Back.
I think Purdy is going to be back to, he have all his weapons. Only thing they don't know if they're going to have Trent Williams back yet. But I'm going to take the Niners. The Niners cannot lose 4 in a row. Like they absolutely can't do it. They'll be in a world of trouble. Give me the Niners.
I like that. Hey, this will be my upset special. I'm going to take the Jags.
Are the Jags not favored? Is this an upset?
Yeah, a lot of the pundits are taking the Niners because they're saying that Debo's coming back, they're getting their weapons back. The Jaguars people just don't want to believe right now because they've really have not. I mean, outside of the Steelers, I don't think they've beaten a whole bunch of teams with winning records, and so I like this down in Jacksonville. So I'm going to take the Niners. I'm going to take the Jaguars. Falcons, they're in Arizona with Lil'Man to take on the Cardinals.
the Falcons coach is so bad. You just never. He don't
is.
use his
Arthur
weapons.
Smith
Like,
is
oh my
horrible.
gosh. I think Kyle is going to put on the show. Give me the Cardinals.
All right, Mr. Cardinals. I'm going to take the Falcons. The Cardinals are horrible. Lions, they go to LA to play the Chargers. Lions coming off a bye.
Brandon Staley, you should win this game, but you're not. Give me the Barry Sanders. I'll take Detroit Lions.
All right, I'll take them with you as well. The Giants, they're down in Dallas to take on the Bulls.
Give me Dallas. You ain't got to finish that. The Giants are
right.
bad.
Giants are
And they don't even have Danny Dimes. They got
he's out for the year.
Yeah, what they got?
ACL.
This Italian guy. What's his name? Something.
DeVito.
Yeah.
DeVito.
Yeah, they got. Hey, what the fuck are you talking about here?
Right.
I'm fucking coach of. I'm fucking
Tony
quarterback of
Danza
fucking
is starting
Giants.
quarterback for them. some Italian guy.
Who's
Gino
the boss?
Scagagacci or something like that. Yeah.
Not the Purple Rain reference. Let's go, Mars Day.
Gino Scagagacci or something like that. I think it's starting this week. The Commanders, they are in the state of Washington taking on the Seahawks.
Yeah, Pete Carroll is upset.
Oh yeah.
The Commanders are going down. Pete Carroll got embarrassed last week. They home with the 12th man. They're gonna give me the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm taking the Sea Chickens as well. The Jets, they travel to Vegas to play the Raiders.
Ooh, let's see. Antonio Pierce got these boys on a high. Second game at home. He can go 2-0 as a head coach. Give me Antonio Pierce. I will take the Raiders.
Yeah, I went with the Jets last week because of the defense mostly, and I thought Wilson could do just enough, but Wilson's horrible, and their season's gone down the drain, and they're not going to make the playoffs because of the quarterback play. And so I'll take the Raiders as well. And the home team special. The Browns are in town to play the Ravens. Both teams I know the Browns, they lost their starting left tackle. He's out for the next several weeks. They still have a top-rated, top-5 defense. Garrett is a early defensive MVP of the year candidate. They always play the Ravens pretty close. If Ravens get this, they'll sweep the season series. And so who are you taking?
Yeah, in the past, sweeping the season series, the Ravens would normally lose this game. This is in Baltimore. A lot is at stake. They got Deshaun on the other side, who had a good game last week, but he's not the Deshaun.
Good game against the Cardinals.
Yeah, he's not the Deshaun Watson that everybody thinks he is. Holding Myles Garrett is going to be a big deal, but I still have the Ravens winning this game. Rather handedly, too. I think the Ravens will. I don't know if they're going to dominate, but I think it'll at least be a 2-score victory.
They won the first game by several scores, and they didn't have OBJ. They did not have. I
don't think they had. They didn't have Stanley either.
They didn't have. I think Lindenbaum did not play in that game as well. They were missing several players. Kyle Van Noy. That was his first game. They did not have Marlon Humphrey. They did not have Marcus Williams. They did not have several players playing that game. And so they were playing with a makeshift line. I think Morgan Moses had went down. They had to bring in someone off the bench, Falali. And so they managed to win that game by several scores. But they were playing a quarterback who was just drafted, a rookie. Now they're going to get Deshaun. I don't know how much difference that makes, but yeah, I'm going with the Ravens. I don't think it's close. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be a total domination like they did last week, but they tend to play very well against the top competition.
And we got to also remember the thing that fueled the Browns over the past few years, Nick Chubb is not there. They got Kareem Hunt back there and Jerome Ford, which they haven't played bad, but they're not. Yeah, they're not Nick Chubb. And Nick Chubb has been the Raven killer over the past few years.
Raven killer. I was at a game at M&T when they played. I think Baker was the quarterback then, and Ravens were coming back, and they gave a toss to Chubb, and he took it like 70 plus. And it was a killer. It was a killer. All right, in the Monday night game, the Bills they're at home against the Broncos. They need this
Yeah,
game.
they have to have this game. If they lose to the Broncos, then somebody's losing their job. But give me the Bills.
All right, I'm taking the Bills at Orchard Park as well. Let's go through our pick. And while I'm thinking about it, the Thursday game. Let's go ahead and get that in as well.
Oh
This
man,
is another big game for the Ravens.
huge
Thursday
game.
game. You have the Bengals coming to town. I'm not sure how they're going to do Sunday. They'll be playing the Ravens at home Thursday night. Thursday teams usually do well on the Thursday night games. If the Ravens get the win on Sunday, this game pretty much will mean the division because if they're able to sweep the Browns and the Bengals and they split with the Steelers, the division's theirs. And so, and that could mean home field advantage for the playoffs. Who are you taking?
Yeah, the one thing that we've always said going into last year, which is if we have Lamar on the field, the Bengals cannot beat us. And we keep showing it every time. I mean, with Snoop on the field, they barely lost the wild card game. Last year, they came in second, third week of the season. Ravens beat them. I gotta take my Ravens, man. I gotta believe in this defense. I gotta take them. They know how to play. They know how to play Jamar Chase. After that, 2 years ago when Jamar went off on us, like
Oh
we
my
weren't
God,
expecting
killed
him
him.
his rookie season. They've
Mm-hmm.
kind of contained him pretty much. And then if you got T. Higgins not playing this week, I don't know if that means he's not going to play Thursday night game. He could be hurt, and you
Mm-hmm.
just never know. I think they're going to be depleted in their receiving core. They're going to have to depend on Tyler Boyd, and I forgot the other guy's name. You can barely pronounce his name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, give me the Ravens, man. Give me the Ravens
All right.
Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm taking the home team. The home team fares better on the Thursday night games, and the Ravens they're going to be up for this. That's probably going to be a blackout game or a
It
color
is a
rush
blackout
game.
game. They
It's a
yeah, they've
blackout game.
already they've
Yeah,
already
so
announced it. Yeah.
so that's going to be the blackout game Thursday night for the division. We hate Cincinnati.
Hate
They
them.
want to be us. They hate us because they can't beat us. And
Exactly.
yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And so I'm taking the Ravens. Then they get a mini bye. They come back. They will play the Chargers, and then they go on bye. So actually, I think the schedule works for them. That they're getting two built-in buys. They'll be playing one game over the next 2 weeks, and
That's a
so it's going to work for
That's
them.
hey man, we talk about him. We talk about his time management, but his clock
Mm-hmm.
management. But that's a John Harbaugh because they could have taken the bye after
They
the
could have
the
taken the
London
bye.
game, and he was like, "No, that's a nice way to do it. Get that Thursday
Mm-hmm.
night, get that slight bye,
Right.
go to they're not San Diego anymore. Go to Los
Mm-hmm.
Angeles healthy, get another
Mm-hmm.
bye after that, and go through that stretch. I mean,
Right.
that stretch is kind of brutal if I
Yeah, I mean, what
remember.
Rams? Yeah, you got
Not
Rams,
the Rams.
Niners.
Got the
You got Ram
Niners.
Niners. You got Steelers. You got Dolphins.
That's other
That's
than the
manageable.
Rams, that's a
Other than the
yeah,
I
that's a
mean
tough.
Niners, we see. Hopefully that they might be back, but Dolphins against good teams. They got the
Yeah,
Dolphins here. They're not going to South Beach. It's in
yeah. The
December.
last time they were here, I still got PTSD from that
Mm-hmm.
28 to nothing halftime lead and
All right,
losing
it's all
that.
right. Have faith in your team. They play well against teams with winning records, and so
This is a totally different Raven squad
it's
than
a
what
totally
we've been
different
used
Ravens
to.
squad.
So
And so let me run through the picks again real quick. We take the Colts over the Patriots. We split on Texans Bengals. You're taking the Texans. I'm taking the Bengals. We both take Saints over Vikings. We split on Packers Steelers. You're taking Packers. I'm taking Steelers. We both take the Bucks over the Titans. Split on Niners Jags. You're taking the Niners. I'm taking the Jags. You're taking the Cardinals over the Falcons. I'm taking the Falcons. We both pick Lions over Chargers, Cowboys over Giants, Seahawks over Commanders, Raiders over Jets, we're both taking the home team Ravens over the Browns, and then for the Monday night game, we're both taking the Bills over the Broncos, and for the following Thursday night game, we're both taking the Ravens over the Bengals.
Yeah,
Good
man.
picks, good picks, good picks. Just a quick shout out to some Orioles of winning awards over the last week. Shout out to Orioles general manager Mike Elias. He was voted as Major League Baseball's Executive of the Year on Tuesday after the team finished with the American League's best record for the first time since 1997. And then Adley Rutschman was awarded the 2023 Silver Slugger Award for AL catchers. His 256 total bases were the most among catchers this season and the second most by a primary catcher in Oriole history. And so shout out to the O's on the offseason awards. And so now we had a segment that everyone loves in America. Come on, yo. You got to come on, yo. You want me to go first? Or
Yeah, you go first. You go first.
Okay.
I'm deciding between a couple.
Okay, my come on, yo. It's not really a come on, yo, but it's a good come on, yo. This past week, we're celebrating the release of two seminal hip hop albums that really influenced the culture. One is Midnight Marauders by A Tribe Called Quest, and the second is Into the Woo, uh, uh, 36 Chambers by Wu-Tang Clan. And both of these albums pretty much shape the genre of hip hop heading into the mainstream. We know that hip hop is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, and the impact that the music it had. And for me as an 88 bro, to me 88 is always going to be the greatest year in hip hop. It's the golden era of hip hop. We're talking from 87, 88, but when we get to 93, the music is really going into the mainstream. You got MTV, you got Yo MTV Raps, you got winning Grammys and all these particular things. And these two albums released on the same day pretty much ushered the genre fully into the mainstream. And so thank you, Q-Tip and A Tribe Called Quest, Fife, Rest in Power, Jerobi, Ali, and for Wu, it's too many to name. So just Wu Gambinos, all affiliated. Wu Tang with that, Inspector Deck, RZA, Jizza, Ray, Meth, all of them. You got all of them. ODB, the whole clan.
Wu-Tang for the kids.
Wu-Tang is for the babies. You know what I'm saying? So woo. So I encourage you, go out and listen to those two albums. Go ahead and sit down, get into a little electronic relaxation. Oh my God. It's a lot of bangers on both of these albums. The Mystery of Chess Boxing, Method Man. You just got it was all so different than you just got so many bangers on both of these albums. And so shout out to the Wu, who is still touring, by the way. They was out with Nas a little earlier this year on tour. Tribe Called Quest, of course, with the passing of Fife, they're not touring like that anymore, but the music still lasts forever. And so shout out to Tribe and Wu.
Diversify, bitches.
Diversify your portfolio.
Hey man, couple things I wanted to talk about, and they both are Baltimore related. One is on the not so good side, and the other is on the which should be good side. Let me first start that they actually found Marilyn Mosby guilty, former state's attorney Marilyn Mosby guilty of 2 counts of perjury, and she's facing 5 to 10 years. I just want to say real quick, and I'm a Mosby supporter, but come on, yo. There's something going on with these Baltimore politicians, from Sheila Dixon, who's probably going to get elected again, to what was the Catherine Pugh, to now Marilyn Mosby. There's something going on, and it's not a good look for Baltimore. It's not a good look for Black women leaders in Baltimore. So we got great leaders such as Shalonda Stokes. It's just, come on, yo. We got to get better, Baltimore. We got to get better with these politicians. And I'm not talking to the Baltimore citizens because we are electing you to do a job and we're trusting you. I'm talking to the politicians. You've got to do better. You got to stop taking advantage of people. Now, what Mosby is convicted of doing isn't necessarily a crime against the people the same as Catherine Pugh, but it's still a crime nonetheless. And you've got to do better. Just the whole look is not good. And if you have to serve jail time, that's even worse. So come on, yo, come on, politicians. And I'm just leave it at that. So the next thing is Baltimore we got to look at what the new Inner Harbor is potentially going to look like. I think it's a $500 or $600 million renovation. They're going to put more businesses down there, but they're putting some apartments down there to overlook the city, to overlook the Inner Harbor. So it's a lot different from what we've had. Donald Schaefer's idea of the Baltimore Inner Harbor. So it's a whole new look. And if you've been down to the Inner Harbor, most, if not all, of the shops that closed. The gallery is closed. So the Inner Harbor that we had back in the 80s and 90s is gone and it's not coming back. Baltimore, we look at that and, we're all, I don't want that. What is that? It looks terrible. And first of all, it's just an idea. It's plans, but there's something's going to happen. We need to embrace our city because we have enough people trashing our city for crime. I just talked about the politicians. The national media does not encourage Baltimore. And if you know anything about Baltimore, we probably have the best food up and down the East Coast. Our food is so diverse and it's so good. Anyone that comes to Baltimore, no matter where they come from, they will always tell you get great food in Baltimore. The people in Charm City are actually charming. Of course, you have your pockets here and there, but people in Baltimore are actually very nice. The only time you will hear that people in Baltimore aren't nice is if you go to a Ravens game and you're an opposing fan.
Right.
The
Because y'all coming here
stadium
starting
not-
stuff.
we
Leave
did
us
not have the
alone.
great reputation there, but
Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
exactly. But come on, yo. Start embracing your city. Start loving your city. Start encouraging your city. When you see things that people are trying to do to help the city, instead of bashing it, open up to it and say, you know what? Let's see what it does. We have a whole Harbor East down there that a lot of people were like, well, we don't need that. We have the Inner Harbor. Harbor East is thriving now. It is, if you don't know,
Thank
if you
you,
haven't been
gentrifiers.
down there, it has been gentrified, but it is connecting Fells Point to that part of what was the Inner Harbor. So it's now Harbor East now. So there are a lot of things going on. We have the Christmas season coming up. You will have Christmas Village at the original Inner Harbor. Harbor East always does like a Christmas walk, different things like that. So start loving your city and taking advantage of it and stop bashing it. Let's embrace this new look because, like it or not, Baltimore is changing. And it's changing for the better, or at least trying to change for the better. So come on, yo. Come on, yo. If you Baltimore, start loving your city, yo. Start loving it like me and Garland love it, because we talk about it all the time.
Yeah. Leave our rat hole. If you gonna live in this rat hole, love it.
Love it.
It's our little rat hole. Leave it alone. I will say this about our girl Mosby. It's just unfortunate. I mean, we were talking about this in the barbershop one day. I was like, who was her OG? Because she really needed some sage guidance on what she was doing. I mean, yes, it was her money, but you probably could have, as an attorney, you knew you were taking advantage of the ambiguity of the regulations, and you could have waited. You could have waited until you were out of office to go ahead and you felt that if that was your calling, then your calling's not going to leave you. You could have waited a little bit more, and because they had eyes on you, especially because you were vocally the things that you were doing. You had to know that the government definitely had eyes on you, and it just, it's unfortunate. I hope that she, that she's going through a divorce. She has 2 young daughters. I hope that she does not have to spend any significant time away. I mean, because also the government has a thing for Black leaders, and they definitely love to put Black leaders in federal prison. And it's unfortunate. And so I hope that the sentence is lenient, and this definitely impacts her career, because as someone with a conviction, that she had to forfeit her law license to practice law, all those things, and so the future implications are very heavy for her. And so wish her the best on that. Love to see what's going to happen with the Inner Harbor as well. David Bramble, who is a city graduate.
Forever.
City forever. And so it's funny. I was out to dinner this week with my wife, and I was talking about, because I said, because the Poly City, she said, excuse me. She said, it don't even sound right when you say it out of your mouth. Poly City. She said, say that again. Does it sound right to you? I was like, I'm sorry. City Poly. She said, see, it rolls right off your tongue. You up here saying Poly City. It don't even sound right. So I had to apologize.
My
browbeat by city graduates.
So it was probably about 2 weeks ago. We were in the car, and I was like, we rode by Pimlico, and Katina said, ain't that where y'all had Poly City? I said, excuse me? She said, ain't that where y'all had? She said something else. I said, excuse me. Then I was like, no. What was the first thing you said? She said, ain't that where y'all had Poly? I was like, excuse me. I said, it is City Poly. I said, man, and I know you're not from here, and I understand, but if you're ever around any of my friends, they're going to look at me like dude looked at Eddie King and said, bro, you ain't got your woman in check.
Calvin, you ain't got your woman in check.
Get it right.
We're talking about some Poly City.
City.
She corrected me quickly. Like, before she put the calamari in her mouth, she was like, oh, what? What did you just say? That don't even sound right. I'm like, I'm sorry. But
shout out to Paula.
I got one more quick. Come on, yo. I know this is unprecedented. Mr. Chime Time. This man, come on, yo. I just thought about this. Mr. Chime Time, if you are on TikTok or YouTube, one of the social medias, there's this man named Mr. Chime Time. He goes around and he does food reviews from his car of different things, because I know we had this whole Keith Lee thing down in Atlanta. The people all upset and all this stuff. Keith Lee, and I actually went to his page. He's a nice guy. Loved his reviews.
Yeah.
All right. Keith Lee. So Mr. Chime Time, he's more like your ghetto Keith Lee. And so Mr. Chime Time does the same thing. And so he was in the DMV, which Baltimore is not a part of.
Thank you.
He happened to be in the area, and he decided to go to a couple of Baltimore places. He went to Sugar Mama's. He went to a couple other places. He really liked Sugar Mama's, although he was fussing at the beginning of the review.
That's a great review if you haven't seen it.
It was a great review at the end, because it started off kind of like, oh my God, he about to
shaky.
Sugar Mama's. Yeah, it started off very shaky. He went to my place. Me and Calvin always had this argument about crab cakes. We went to Box Hill Pizzeria out here in my county where I live. I live outside of Baltimore. And he reviewed the crab cakes. And he trashed my crab cake. He trashed it just on the seasoning. He trashed it on the seasoning. He like, it's lumped. I mean, it's big. But it ain't got no flavor. It ain't. I'm like, and I had to explain to my wife last night, because I'm still mad about this, Mr. Chime Time, that a lot of times with your fast food, it's not seasoned on purpose. That's why you have salt and pepper on the table, because it allows people to season it to their taste. But, I went to Box Hill last night to have a crab, because it just really pissed me off. And the crab cake was great. So I'm sorry, Mr. Chime Time. Come on, yo. I don't care what you say. Box Hill's still a top 5 crab cake. Goodbye.
Let me go ahead and add another come on, yo. Come on, yo. He was absolutely right. And I have been telling Garland this. He was absolutely
all Calvin was looking for is justification.
Box Hill is average at best. It's not the worst crab cake. I will say that. It does have a little flavor, but does it have a lot of flavor? Absolutely not. And don't give me that it's not supposed to. It is supposed to, because it's crab. Because you're supposed to season it with some Old Bay, or sometimes they use some of the other seasoning, whatever. But no, Box Hill is average. Now, the only thing I will say that he did that, I gave him a side eye for. Number one is he said, if you're in the Baltimore area. No, Box Hill is not in the Baltimore area. I don't care what Garland says. I don't care what anybody says. It is Harford County. It is not the Baltimore area.
He wasn't
not the Baltimore area. And the only other thing I will say, and it seems like everyone from out of town does this, we don't eat crab cake sandwiches. We do not put crab cakes in between pieces of bread. We eat the crab cake itself. So if you're judging off the crab cake sandwich, gotta give it a little curve on that. Just the crab cake itself. Although all you talked about was the crab cake and not the sandwich. But and Box Hill does have pretty large crab cakes. I will the size of the crab cakes. There's a couple things that they do well, but the crab cake is not the best. And I'm glad someone else has finally told Garland that it's not the best crab cake in the world. So come on, Garland. Come on, yo. Stop. Mr. Chime Time, you did it right. Definitely see his review of Sugar Mamas, but you got to see his review of the Empanada Lady also, because that is hilarious. That is hilarious.
He took a crap on the Empanada.
He actually reviewed Poppy's the other day, earlier this week.
Queen?
Yeah,
Poppy
he did.
Okay.
Yeah, he reviewed Poppy, so you got to see that one also. But yeah, man, good review on Box Hill. Come on, Garlic. Come on, yo. You see it. It was average, mid. He didn't say it was bad. It was just average. But he did give I think he gave the crab fries a high review.
He loved the crab fries.
Yeah, I might try the crab fries, but I might. I don't know. I need to try their pizza. I don't think I've ever tried the pizza, because they are called Box Hill Pizzeria.
Yeah, it's a pizzeria, and I've never had pizza there.
And actually, when you go in, that's what you see. You see pizza everywhere. Yeah. But everyone gets the seafood.
It's a pizzeria, but I've never had pizza.
Hey man, another great show that we have for you today. Just remember this is live on YouTube, and if you didn't see it live, you can watch it on Spotify if you have that, if you listen to us there. Otherwise, you would just be listening on all the other podcast platforms, which do not have the video of me being the #1 Pigskin Pick'em picker right now, and Garland being somewhere down the bottom. How many are you down by, Garland? Like 9, 10?
Down by 1.
Same thing. Like you told me before, you can win. You win by 1, win by 25. It's the same thing. So same thing. Make sure you get come join us around beginning of December, because we will start doing our breakdown of the Raising Canaan. Raising Canaan is coming back for season 2 or 3, I think. December 1st. December 1st. So we'll be talking about that again. So make sure you join us around then. But other than that, anything else you want to say to the people, Garland?
Mr. Chime Time. All right, nah, people. Have a great day.
Everybody have a good weekend. Shout out to the veterans. Happy Veterans Day weekend, actually.
You have been listening to Fanboys, an all things black with Garland and Calvin Productions. Thank you for listening. And make sure to rate and review this episode on all of your podcast platforms.
Time. Whatever.
Jerry Seafood and Bowie. So anyway, all right, Garland, later.